As the bitter winter sets in on Animal Farm, the fractures in the revolution begin to deepen. At first, it's Molly who shows the earliest signs of defection. She skips work, fakes illness, and obsesses over her appearance, eventually disappearing entirely after being seen consorting with a human from a neighboring farm. Molly's arc is more than just a subplot. It reflects a broader phenomenon that followed the Bolshevik Revolution, the emigration of the bourgeoisie and others unwilling to adapt to the new regime. Just like Molly, many in Russia fled to the West, choosing personal comfort and familiarity over revolutionary hardship. Molly's love of sugar and ribbons mirrors the Russian elite's attachment to material luxuries and class distinction. Her final scene, pampered, decorated, and seemingly content, captures the allure of capitalist life that some found preferable to the harsh conditions of Soviet collectivism. But Molly's departure is only the beginning. Within the farm, a much more consequential conflict brews, one between Snowball and Napoleon. Their power struggle is a direct allegory for the clash between Leon Trotsky and Joseph Stalin after Lenin's death. Snowball is the intellectual revolutionary, full of visionary ideas, particularly the windmill, an ambitious plan to electrify the farm, reduce labor, and usher in a new era of prosperity. This corresponds to Trotsky's belief in rapid industrialization and his desire to spread permanent revolution beyond Soviet borders. Napoleon, in contrast, is a tactician. He offers no innovation of his own, but focuses instead on consolidating power through manipulation and intimidation. His opposition to the windmill is less about policy and more about strategy. He senses that Snowball's popularity and persuasive speeches threaten his authority. This dynamic reflects Stalin's methods in the 1920s. While Trotsky captivated crowds with speeches and visions of progress, Stalin quietly built a loyal base of support within the party apparatus. Just like Napoleon's secret work with the dogs, Stalin cultivated control of key institutions, especially the secret police and bureaucratic machinery, ensuring that when the moment came, he could act decisively. That moment arrives during the fateful debate over the windmill. Snowball, mid-speech and winning over the crowd, is abruptly chased off the farm by Napoleon's now fully grown dogs, brutal enforcers trained in private. The animals, shocked into silence, witness the ruthless elimination of a fellow revolutionary. This mirrors Trotsky's expulsion from the Communist Party and eventual exile from the Soviet Union. In both cases, the purging of a rival marks the shift from a revolutionary state to a totalitarian one. The revolution, once collective and hopeful, becomes a personal dictatorship. With Snowball gone, Napoleon wastes no time dismantling democracy. The weekly debates are abolished. Decisions are now made by a pig-only committee presided over by Napoleon. There is no more space for discussion, only orders to follow. This reflects how Stalin suspended internal party democracy, eliminated opposition, and centralized all power in himself. As in Animal Farm, the justification is always the same: security, unity, and the threat of counter-revolution. The idea is simple: dissent is dangerous and debate only weakens the state. But political control is not complete without ideological control. Enter Squealer, the mouthpiece of the regime, whose job is to spin lies into truths and reshape the collective memory. He tells the animals that Napoleon's assumption of power is a selfless burden. He rewrites history, claiming that Snowball was always a traitor, even questioning his bravery during the Battle of the Cowshed, an event that all animals had previously witnessed as heroic. This manipulation is a pointed reference to Stalin's extensive use of propaganda and historical revisionism. Under Stalin, Soviet textbooks were rewritten, photos were doctored to erase Trotsky, and official narratives changed frequently, always to support Stalin's version of reality. The state controlled not just what people did, but what they remembered and believed. Even Snowball's ideas are co-opted. Weeks after his expulsion, Napoleon reverses his stance and announces that the windmill will be built after all. Squealer claims the plan had always been Napoleon's and that he had only pretended to oppose it to root out Snowball's influence. This moment captures the cynical pragmatism of authoritarian regimes, where truth is fluid and history is rewritten to serve those in power. This calculated move reflects Stalin's appropriation of Trotsky's ideas. Though Trotsky had championed industrialization, it was Stalin who later implemented a forced version of it through his 5-year plans, often claiming them as his own original vision. Like Napoleon, Stalin eliminated the visionary, stole the vision, and used it to further his own agenda. The farm descends into a routine of rigid control and blind obedience. The animals are no longer partners in a revolution. They are subjects of a regime. Even Boxer, the loyal and hard-working horse, adopts a new slogan. Napoleon is always right. It is a chilling echo of how totalitarian states rely on unquestioning loyalty from the masses, particularly from the working class, who are often the most exploited. Lastly, the symbolic rituals deepen. Major's skull is dug up and turned into an object of veneration. The animals must salute it weekly before receiving their orders. These rituals reflect the cult of personality that surrounded Stalin, who turned Lenin into a quasi-religious figure to legitimize his own rule. Just as the animals file past a skull they no longer question, so too did Soviet citizens participate in ceremonies that masked oppression in the language of reverence. Through this passage, Orwell masterfully illustrates how revolutions can be hijacked, how truth can be manipulated, and how idealism can give way to tyranny. It is not simply a story about animals, it is a blueprint for how authoritarian power takes root, grows, and sustains itself through fear, propaganda, and the rewriting of reality.